Assalamu alaikum. What a beautiful habit it is to read the Quran al-Karim. Also, it's very beautiful to learn your religion. We're trying to do so by reading the life of our Prophet Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Before I continue, I want to read from the book Ethics of Islam. The Mujtahids taught and explained to others. Scholars who came later learned how these teachings could be applied to new circumstances and wrote them in their books of tafsir, which are exegesis of the Quran al-Karim, and fiqh, branches of Islamic knowledge, teaching Islam's tenets or practices. These scholars are called mujtadids, restorers. Let us continue. Our master Faqih Kainat sallallahu alaihi wasallam organized sariyyas, that is, small military units to protect the safety of Medina and to check the situation of the enemies. The number of those who joined these sariyyas would change between 5 people and 400 people. The wars, which were joined and managed by our master the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam personally, were called Gaza. Our beloved Prophet took necessary security measures to prevent sudden enemy attacks by systemizing standing guards in Medina. It was necessary to weaken the polytheists politically and economically and to discipline them. For this reason, they needed to block the trade routes to Syria. Meanwhile, it was heard that a polytheist caravan was passing near Medina. Our beloved Prophet ﷺ ordered immediate preparation for a military expedition, and he appointed Hadrat Hamza as commander to 30 horsemen. After he recommended Hadrat Hamza to fear Allah Ta'ala and treat those who were under his command well, he told him, set off for the holy war by reciting the name of Allah Ta'ala on the path of Allah Ta'ala. Fight those who deny Allah Ta'ala. Giving Hadrat Hamza a white flag, he bid him farewell. Hadrat Hamza, with the horsemen under his command, moved against the polytheists' caravan, which was protected by 300 cavalry. When the caravan, on the way to Damascus, or on the way from Damascus to Mecca, came to the place called Sifr ul-Bahr, they faced with the Mujahids. The glorious companions, organized in battle array, immediately prepared for combat. At that moment, Majdi bin Amr al-Juhani, who was also present there, reached them and mediated. Majdi bin Amr al-Juhani was ally of both sides. When he saw that Muslims were few in number, but the polytheists were many, he thought the Muslims could be defeated. Hoping that the Muslim state would remain forever, he mediated and dissuaded both sides from fighting. After that, Hadrat Hamza and his friends returned to Medina. When Majdi's acts were told to our master, the Prophet Alaihissalam, our Prophet expressed his pleasure and said, he has done a blessed, good, and right thing. After that, there was no ceasing of military expeditions. Hadrat Ubaidah bin Haris was given 60 or 80 mujtahids and were sent to Rabiq. The polytheists, afraid of Muslims, found their salvation in escaping. One day, our master, the Prophet, wanted to organize a military expedition to Naha for watching the Quraysh polytheists. He wanted to make Hadrat Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah the commander of the soldiers who would be sent. Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah, when he received this order, started to weep with agony of being away from our Prophet. Rasulullah appointed Hadrat Abdullah bin Jash, the commander, in place of Hadrat Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah. Abdullah bin Jash was one of those that lived Islam emotionally. When he became Muslim, although the disbelievers fiercely tortured him, he said he had resisted them with his power of faith and endured the torments and sufferings without complaining. For this reason, our Master the Prophet said about him to his ashab, "Among you, he is the most resistant to hunger and thirst." Abdullah bin Jash, hearing the glad tidings by our Master, the Prophet, for martyrs, always longed for martyrdom. At wars, he would bravely fight on the front line. Hadrat Abdullah bin Jash says, "That day, Rasul Alaihissalam, after performing the night prayer, called me and said, 'Early in the morning, come to me. Bring your weapons too. I will send you somewhere.' When it was morning, I went to the masjid. I had my sword, bow, and satchel of arrows on. My shield was with me too. Rasul Alaihissalam, after conducting the morning prayer, returned to his home. I had arrived there before him, so I was waiting for him in front of the door. He found several people from Muhajirs who would go with me. He said, 'I've appointed you the commander over these people.' He gave me a letter and said, Go after 2 nights, open the letter. Act accordingly to what is commanded in the letter." I asked, "O Rasulullah, to which direction shall I go?" He replied, "Take the road of Najdiyah towards the Rakia, to the well." When Abdullah bin Jash was entrusted with the Nala expedition, he was given the attribute of Amir al-Mu'mineen for the first time in Islam. He was the first commander who was called by that name. When they reached at the Malal location with a military unit of 8 or 12 soldiers, in the letter which he had opened, it was written, "Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. When you have read this letter, go down to Nalha Valley between Mecca and Taif, with the name and benediction of Allah Ta'ala. Do not force any of your friends to come with you. Watch and check the Qurayshis and the Quraysh caravan in the Nala Valley. Inform us of their affairs." We'll discuss this further when we meet again. Wa alaikum salam.